Assalamu alaikum. My name is Tahir and you are watching live HR Consultants Pakistan. मैं अपने तमाम व्यूवर्स को इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूँगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आज हमारा एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट सेशन होने जा रहा है मलेशिया मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी पर बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स की इंक्वायरीज प्लेस हुई है मलेशिया मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी से रिलेटेड डिस्कस करना चाह रहे थे स्टूडेंट्स जानना चाह रहे थे आइल्स के बारे में फी स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में यूनिवर्सिटीज़ के बारे में बहुत सी ऐसी चीज़ें हैं जिनके बारे में स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं वो जानना चाह रहे थे तो आज स्पेशल हमने इनवाइट किया है मिस्टर ईएन को जो मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं और इन्हीं के साथ हमारे एडमिशन मैनेजर हैं मलेशिया के मिस्टर उमैर थैंक्स टू बोथ ऑफ यू मिस्टर ईयान एंड मिस्टर उमैर आपने हमें ज्वाइन किया और वो स्टूडेंट स्पेशली जो अभी अपने लाइव क्यूडिस को हमसे जो है वो कनेक्ट करना चाह रहे हैं कॉल कर सकते हैं 034647474043 पर या नीचे लाइव कमेंट सेक्शन में अपने क्यूरीज को प्लेस कर सकते हैं हम साथ साथ बिल्कुल आपके लाइव क्वेश्चंस का आंसर्स करेंगे नाउ ओवर टू यू मिस्टर उमैर प्लीज
Thank you, Mr. Tai, and welcome, Mr. Ian, on the platform of HR Consultants. Uh, Today, we will ask the number of questions from you, what the students are asking from us regarding the Monash University, about its ranking, about everything. So you're very heartily welcome on our platform.
Thank you. मैं अपने तमाम व्यूअर्स को इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूँगा फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आज हमारा एक बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट सेशन होने जा रहा है मलेशिया मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी पर बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स की इंक्वायरी से रिलेटेड पाकिस्तान मैं अपने तमाम
Hello, Ian.
Yes, Umair.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm getting you.
Okay.
Ian, come on. We will start about your university. We know that it's a rank 55 in the world, and it is a branch campus of the main university of Australia, who's in Melbourne.
Correct.
So, what are all the courses of your universities are very popular and very demanding over the people. So, I want to hear from your side which courses you say that are the most in demand.
Most in demand right now, usually it will still focus around business to engineering. And in the more interesting part is that now recently, the one that is picking up, the program that's picking up is actually our computer science, as well as our Bachelor of Computer Science in Data Science.
That's great. Okay, so what are the eligibility requirements for that?
Okay, for us, we are unfortunately sad to say that we cannot accept students from FSC. So students who actually come from FSC will have to go through a foundation of 1 year before they can join Monash University upon meeting entry requirements. If not, for other students who take other programs, entry programs like A-levels or International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, then only they can be accepted for direct entry into Monash University, provided that they meet the necessary requirements in terms of overall score requirement to subject prerequisites as well as English language requirements.
Okay, you talk about your program of data science, which is just explain to our students, is it a separate program with the name of data science or it will cover under the Bachelor of Computer Science?
It will be covered under the Bachelor of Computer Science, okay, as it is actually a branch of computer science for us. So even if you do comparison to Monash Australia, the program is actually listed under Bachelor of Computer Science, but it splits into two, which is Advanced Computer Science and also Data Science. But in Malaysia, we split it into two, which is Bachelor of Computer Science and Bachelor of Computer Science in Data Science, but they're actually the same thing.
Okay, that's fine. So what is the fee structure of these programs?
Okay, for now, the fee structure of the programs are still following the tuition fees of the year 2020 that we currently have available. Okay, the IT side will be roughly around 46,640 ringgit Malaysia per year. This one would be roughly equivalent to about 13,000 USD per year.
Okay, fine. Okay, so is the IELTS compulsory for your programs?
IELTS is kind of depends on the part of which entry point are they using from the entry requirements. So if they're using A-levels and if you have done general paper or English literature or literature in English, then as long as you score a B and above, then we can actually accept for direct entry. For diploma, for the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program, then we will be looking at the English language, whether is it standard level or higher level, also accepted as well. Okay, and then last but not least, for those students who actually go into our Monash University Foundation year for 1 year, then yes, IELTS is a requirement.
Okay, fine. Tahir, I think there is some student who want to ask question.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम हसनैन, आवाज़ आ रही है आपको मेरी? जी हसनैन, कैन यू हियर मी? आवाज़ आ रही है आपको मेरी? मुझसे अभी कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ, काइंडली आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
Okay, we are talking about the eligibility requirement for the bachelor's programs and
Yep.
about the IELTS. Let's suppose as Malaysian government accepts the students who are coming with education gap, and if a student has done O levels some 4 to 5 years back, but he have a A grade even in English subject, still his O levels A grade will compensate for the IELTS because of his 4 to 5 years gap, or is there some other policy for that?
Okay, for now, it is generally still acceptable, but students need to provide a statement of activity as to what they have been doing during the gap year. Okay, we actually look at in terms of reasoning as to why students did not actually continue their studies for during that gap year and take that into consideration first. But more often than not, students can still continue. Yeah.
That's fine. And what about the IELTS in that case?
IELTS is only valid for 2 years. So if they did it like during their O levels, then they will have to definitely retake so that we can get the latest ones and meet the current entry requirements.
Okay. So what are the now present available intakes for your programs?
Okay, for the degree programs, we have 3 intakes every year, which is February, July, and October.
Okay.
That's
fine. Dear viewers, आप जैसे देख रहे हैं मिस्टर यन एक्सप्लेन कर रहे हैं
जी उमर साहब, नेक्स्ट सवाल से पहले मैं अपने व्यूअर्स को आपको ये आवाज आ रही है? जी उमर साहब, आवाज आ रही है आपको?
जी जी बिल्कुल आ रही है जी, ताहिर बोलें.
अच्छा, मैं आपके नेक्स्ट सवाल से पहले अपने व्यूअर्स को यहाँ पर इन्फॉर्म करना चाहूँगा, जैसा कि हमारे तमाम व्यूअर्स देख रहे हैं, आज हमारा जो स्पेशल एक सेशन हो रहा है मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी पर. ये टॉप रैंक यूनिवर्सिटी है ऑस्ट्रेलिया की, और जो जिसका कैंपस है जैसा कि मलेशिया में भी है, तो वो स्टूडेंट स्पेशल जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में कंटिन्यू करना चाह रहे हैं मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी में और किसी रीज़न की वजह से नहीं कर पा रहे, तो वो मोनाश मलेशिया में देख सकते हैं. बहुत अच्छी आज ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है हमारे पास, रिप्रेजेंटेटिव अवेलेबल है हमारे साथ. अपनी क्यूरीज को क्लियर कीजिए, जो भी आपकी क्यूरीज है, रिलेटेड स्टडी गैप है, आइल्स से रिलेटेड है, फी स्ट्रक्चर से रिलेटेड है, तो अभी कॉल कीजिए 034647474043 पर, या हमें लाइव आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं. आपको अभी लिंक शेयर कर दिया जाएगा, आप हमें लाइव कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या फिर नीचे कमेंट सेक्शन पर फौरन से अपनी इंक्वायरीज को प्लेस कीजिए और आपकी जो भी क्यूरीज है अपनी तमाम क्यूरीज को क्लियर कीजिए, या फिर कॉल कर सकते हैं आप लाइव 034647474043 पर. जी उमर साहब, यू कैन कंटिन्यू प्लीज.
थैंक यू ताहिर. Ian, can you please give highlights on the scholarships?
Okay, the scholarships that we currently have available for international students is called the Monash High Achievers Award. So the Monash High Achievers Award is basically a merit scholarship depending on which entry point that students use to enter. So in order to achieve, let's say, for example, for A levels, students are required to get 3 A's in order to obtain the scholarship. Okay, and the best part about this merit scholarship is that there is no application, there is no exams, okay? And generally, all they need to do is to meet the score requirement, which is to obtain 75% in their semester, and then maintain that 75%. And they can actually obtain and get this merit scholarship every semester until they graduate.
Okay, fine. And what is the amount of their scholarship?
They are getting about 5,000 ringgit off every semester. So in 1 year, we have 2 semesters, so they can get up to 10,000 a year if, depending on the program. Usually, for example, like business, which is 3 years, then they can get up to 30,000 off, which is already equivalent to a partial scholarship.
Okay, Ian, you said that for scholarship, a student should have 3 A grades in A-level subjects.
Yep.
What if the scenario if someone is joining for a transfer, if he's getting a credit transfer from the university? So what will be the scenario in that? What will be the CGPA for that to avail their scholarship?
Okay, now for credit transfer cases, they will not be able to get it on the first semester that they join. They can only get it in the following semester after that. For that one, we like to call it the Monash High Achievers Award for continuing students, because for that one, students who have already transferred in will have to study one semester with fees fully borne by them. But in the second semester, if they score 80% and above, and they are also the top 1% of the scorers for the 80% and above, and also get recommended by faculty, then they can get the High Achievers Award again.
Okay, Ian, some universities of Malaysia offer the scholarships, and what they do, if they give the scholarship at the time of the admission, then they will continue the scholarships for the rest of the years as well, if the students maintain the
Mm-hmm.
CG. But my question is, if a student has joined your university, but his grades are not that enough to get the higher achiever award on the first semester, and later on he performs very well, still he will be available to get the scholarship later on?
Yes, can. Because for the Monash High Achievers Award, it can be obtainable at every semester interval. It doesn't matter because this is a purely merit-based scholarship. That means as long as you provide the scores and you meet the prerequisites, it will automatically be given, no questions asked. That means, again, there is no application, there's no interviews. You don't need to go through all the hassle of applying or providing paperwork. It's automatically given.
Okay, that's great. And now, what about accommodation?
For accommodation, we have on-campus and off-campus accommodation. For three accommodations that we have for on-campus is called Sunway Monash Residence, okay, Sunyu Residence, and Sunyu Apartment. So they cover anything ranging from single rooms to single room en suite, twin sharing, and even quad sharing. So this one will all cover the accommodation will be covered depending on what is your budget and what kind of rooms are you looking for specifically.
So what is the normal range? What's the range from lowest to maximum, the
Usually,
luxury?
usually international students will take twin sharing to single and suite. So it can range anything from 700 ringgit a month to 1,700 per month.
Okay,
Okay, now the rental fees that is payable actually is already inclusive of electricity, water, and also Wi-Fi already. So there is generally very rare students will actually overuse the electricity capacity at the accommodation. So if they do also, then it's only roughly about 40 cents per hour if they do cross over that threshold.
okay.
Hmm.
So it's very reasonable. So what
Yes, it's
about
very
life
reasonable.
of what is the life about uh, apart from your university, outside university? What is the life over there?
Life over there. Currently, no, thanks to COVID-19, it's pretty restricted. But now, because Malaysia is currently going through a recovery phase, so you are also allowed to almost go back to normal with things like shopping, eating out. You can still hang out with friends, provided that you follow the standard, the SOP provided by the government, which is, constantly wear your mask, wash your hands constantly or sanitize, and also do physical distancing, or also better known as social distancing, preferably. Okay, as long as you meet these three conditions, then you're generally free to go about and do whatever you want to do. You can even
Okay,
go to cinemas to watch movies, and even go to shopping malls to go and shop for your clothes, buy your groceries, and so on and so forth.
okay. So tell me something about your online classes. How it is
Okay, now
conducted, how the student will join them. What all about online classes, please?
Okay, generally online classes will be done two ways. There will be live and pre-recorded sessions as well. Okay, so but generally even for the live sessions, they will be recorded and students will be able to access those recorded videos later on. For most part, for international students, because now currently Malaysia borders are still closed, so classes will be fully online, means you are encouraged to try and actually attend the live classes that's being held following the exact timetable that you are going to have allocated to you. Okay, but in the event that you are not able to do so, you can actually access the pre-recorded sessions so that you can do your own self-study. And of course, our lecturers and tutors are available on hand so that if you have any questions, you can reach out to them directly and they will be able to answer any questions you may have based on the recordings that you have watched.
Okay. Regarding online classes, Ian, let's suppose in the first semester you have 5 subjects to be teach. So
Yeah.
all the subjects are to be compulsory for a student to join, or he can just take 1 or 2 subjects.
It is always advisable students to actually maintain according to the normal scheduling. That means 4 units per semester. However, if they actually want to underload, we call it underloading. That means you lower the amount of unit study in a semester. They will actually need to discuss with the course management office to see whether it's actually a viable option or not. And if it is, then, and if it's allowed, then students can do so. But if not, then students will be required to still take the compulsory 4 units per semester.
Okay. So what will be the scenario if, let's suppose, some students attend and he then later on says that he's not comfortable with the online classes or with the
Mm-hmm.
time schedule because of time difference of 3 hours between Pakistan and
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia. So what will be the option available for that student?
So as I mentioned earlier, that's why we have the live sessions and the pre-recorded sessions. Now, when it comes to this kind of situations, students will actually need to have quite a lot of self-discipline because I understand that doing online studies will actually be a very hard option, particularly when you're in a different country with the time difference of nearly 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so that's why we have the pre-recorded session. So you actually need to actually have self-discipline to actually watch the videos and try to understand as much as possible based on what the lecturer is teaching. But if you don't, then you are definitely still welcome to actually reach out to the lecturer and talk to them and find out exactly how to actually understand what the lecturer or tutor is teaching. Yeah, and because in terms of certain time difference, it's not actually too far off for students to actually chat with their lecturer live while we are all still awake because the time difference is actually not that wide.
Okay. Dear, I have a question particularly about your one program regarding
Mm-hmm.
psychology. You
Okay.
offered that program under the Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences stream as well, and you
Yes,
also offered the program in another stream.
yes, actually four in total, one under the School of Arts and Social Sciences, one together with business, one together with science, and another one which is what we like to call a pure psychology program. So four in total.
Okay, four in total. Before I will go further with it, we have some students online with us. Tahir, please.
Yes. जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम मज़हर
वालेकुम
जी
अस्सलाम।
जी मज़हर अपना कैमरा ऑन कीजिएगा जी आवाज़ आ रही है मज़हर आपको
जी जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह।
जी जी जी
जी
बताइए
मज़हर
क्या
बताइए।
जी सर।
जी बताएं आपकी क्या क्वालिफिकेशन है और आप क्या पढ़ना चाह रहे हैं मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी से?
जी सर मैं कंप्यूटर साइंस यानी कि आईटी की कोर्स पढ़ना चाहता हूँ।
ठीक है, आपकी अभी क्या क्वालिफिकेशन है?
जी इंटरमीडिएट।
ओके, और इंटर में क्या परसेंटेज है आपकी?
जी परसेंटेज जो है वो 60% है।
60% है। और किस ईयर में किया था आपने ये?
जी
आपने किस ईयर में ये किया था?
सर आवाज़ नहीं आ रही है।
आपने किस ईयर में से क्वालिफाई किया था?
किस ईयर में किया
मैं प्री मेडिकल में।
ओके फाइन।
नहीं किस ईयर में किया था कौन से सन में किया था
अच्छा इस ईयर में 2020।
2020
Yeah, the student has done intermediate with the
Mm-hmm.
64% marks in FSC. It's pre-medical basically, and he wants to pursue the Bachelor of Computer Science programs.
Yeah. Okay. So as I mentioned earlier, FSC, we cannot accept for direct entry into Monash University for degree program. So you'll need to go into our foundation of at least 1 year, the Monash University Foundation year. Okay. Then you have to meet our entry requirements from intermediate, and subjects prerequisite that you have to meet is higher level mathematics. That means you have to do either mathematics or advanced mathematics in our foundation year.
Okay, fine. बस सर ये आपको बता रहे हैं कि मनाश यूनिवर्सिटी का ना आपको पहले फाउंडेशन करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, और उसके लिए आप ऐसा करें 1 साल का फाउंडेशन होगा और उसके बाद आप एलिजिबल होंगे मनाश में ट्रांसफर करने के लिए बैचलर कंप्यूटर साइंस के लिए, ठीक है। तो मेरा नंबर देखें स्क्रीन के ऊपर शो हो रहा है, दिस इज 034647470052। मेरा व्हाट्सएप इसके ऊपर अवेलेबल है और साथ ईमेल एड्रेस भी शो हो रहा है। तो आप अपने एजुकेशन डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो है वो मुझे इसके ऊपर व्हाट्सएप कर दें या ईमेल कर दें, ठीक है। तो फिर मैं आपका एडमिशन हुआ लेता हूँ, तो फिर मैं आपसे डिटेल डिस्कशन कर लेता हूँ। थैंक यू मज़ा फॉर योर टाइम, थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग। अस्सलाम
सर
वालेकुम।
एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा।
जी पूछिए।
अच्छा, हमें स्कॉलरशिप कितनी परसेंटेज मिल सकती है?
स्कॉलरशिप के लिए आपकी एप्लीकेशन को पुट करेंगे, ठीक है, और उसके बाद पता चलेगा कि वो कितने परसेंट स्कॉलरशिप दे रहे हैं। नॉर्मली स्कॉलरशिप स्टार्ट होते हैं 70% एंड अबव के ऊपर, ठीक है, बट स्टिल हम आपके डॉक्यूमेंट्स को असेस करके फिर आपको प्रॉपर्ली उसके ऊपर गाइड कर सकेंगे, ठीक है।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
थैंक यू
सर।
Thank you.
साहिर, एक और फ्रेंड ने भी ज्वाइन किया हुआ था।
अभी वो डिस्कनेक्ट हुए सर।
Okay, Ian, I was asking about the psychology program under the business stream and under the arts and social science stream. So what is basically the difference between these two programs?
Okay, actually for the units that you're studying in the psychology, which is the basic 8 units that are studied in arts and social science, business, and school of science, are actually the same units. Okay, the only difference is the application towards the different schools. One is, of course, arts and social science, which you'll be using during the communication, mass communication side, journalism, and so on. Another side would be more for the science, and another one would be for business.
Okay.
Application-wise will be career differences only.
Fine. Okay, dear viewers, we have discussed all the things regarding the courses, regarding the fees, eligibility, arts requirement, about the accommodation that the university is offering, and about the life outside the campus. So gates are open, as Mr. Ian has said, that the coming intake is October, and after that there's an intake of February as well. And all the classes are going online at the moment, and you are very easy to attend that because they are live classes as well, and they are having the pre-recorded sessions as well. So my number is displaying on the screen, and my email address is displaying on the screen. You just have to send your education documents to my email address or to my WhatsApp. I will assist them and will process your application for that. And Ian, what is the expected date when the movement control order is pure lifted and when the students can travel to Malaysia?
Okay, for now, for application purposes, you will only have about roughly 8 days more because the application deadline is on the 18th of September. We extended it slightly longer for international students. Okay, because if we follow the previous allocation time period, it's actually over already, but now it's extended to the 18th of September. So if you are still interested, do send your documents into Umair as soon as possible. If not, then the next intake will be for February. Now, as to when the borders will open again, unfortunately, it's very hard to say because even while Malaysia is still on the path of recovery for COVID-19, okay, but we are still having a bit of cases here and there. We haven't exactly dropped down to zero, so much so that the government is comfortable enough to actually open borders. So in this sense, we will encourage students to just keep in touch with either Umair or to check in with Monash University or any news portal to see whether there is any news updates. Just keep in touch with us, and when Malaysian borders are open, then we will start advising on how we can actually do and process students' visas, as well as advice on how they can come over to Malaysia.
Okay, that's fine. Ty, do you have any further question or any further inquiry online?
No, Matt, I don't have any question. You have completed almost all the questions, and still I don't have any inquiry. तो हम ये है कि अगर आपने कंप्लीट हो गया है हमारे क्यूरीज है आपकी, आप सर कर सकते हैं बिल्कुल, तो हम अपना सेशन को फिर यहाँ पर एंड करते हैं.
Okay, Mr. Ian, I think we have discussed all the things and we will end the session for the moment. And we will get back to you for another session in the next week.
No problem.
Sure, thank you. Thank you, viewers, to joining us and doing our program. And thank you,
जी
Mr.
मैं
Ian.
अपने व्यूवर्स को यहाँ जी
Mr. Ian,
मैं
any
अपने
goodbye
व्यूवर्स को
words?
यहाँ पर
Sorry.
As we are closing, I'm saying that do you have any goodbye words to say to our viewers?
Okay. Thank you for joining us today. If you have any queries, please reach out to HR. They will get in touch with us, and we will do our best to help you, guide you, and help you forward your studies into tertiary education.
Many thanks, Ian. Okay, Taisub, over to you.
थैंक यू मिस्टर एन, थैंक यू मिस्टर उमेर। मैं अपने व्यूवर्स को कहना चाहूँगा, जैसा कि आज आपने देखा है कि और सुना भी है, जैसा कि मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी से रिलेटेड आपने सुना है कि अभी जो रिसेंटली इनटेक आ रही है वो अक्टूबर इनटेक है, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी हैं इसकी, और बहुत ही एक अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी में, जैसा कि टॉप रैंक यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में आती है मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी। बहुत से स्टूडेंट्स जाना चाह रहे हैं मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी पे, इंक्वायरीज प्लेस हुई हैं, डिस्कशन हुई है हमारी आइट से रिलेटेड, फी स्ट्रक्चर से रिलेटेड, ओवरऑल क्यूरीज को डिस्कस किया गया है। अगर आप समझते हैं वो व्यूवर्स कि आपकी अगर कोई क्यूरी क्लियर नहीं हुई है तो आप स्पेशली सबसे पहले जो रावलपिंडी या इस्लामाबाद से बिलोंग करते हैं वो मिस्टर उमैर को विजिट कर सकते हैं। हमारे रावलपिंडी स्कीम 3 ऑफिस में अवेलेबल होते हैं, 9 to 6 टाइमिंग है। मिस्टर उमैर का नंबर है 034647475052 पर आप अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स को व्हाट्सएप कीजिए, यहाँ से डिस्कस कर सकते हैं कॉल पर, और विजिट करने से पहले अपने एजुकेशनल डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाना मत भूलिए। एजुकेशनल डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाने का पर्पस ये होगा कि आपको एनालिसिस करके, डॉक्यूमेंट्स देख एनालिसिस करके उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपको कंप्लीट इन्फॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड की जाती है। ओवरऑल पाकिस्तान से जो स्टूडेंट्स जो विजिट हमें नहीं कर सकते, वो भी स्टूडेंट्स HR कंसल्टेंट्स तमाम फैसिलिटीज प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं। उन स्टूडेंट्स को जो विजिट नहीं कर सकते किसी रीजन की वजह से, वो भी स्टूडेंट्स 034647475052 पर अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं। आपका कंप्लीट ऑनलाइन केस प्रोसेस किया जाएगा, स्काइप पर आपको ले लिया जाएगा ऑनलाइन, या फिर व्हाट्सएप पर ले लिया जाएगा। कंप्लीट डिटेल्स आपको फॉरवर्ड की जाएंगी, ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन प्लेस की जाएंगी। तो अपना टाइम वेस्ट किए बगैर जो है वो फौरन से अप्लाई कीजिए, क्योंकि जैसा कि रिसेंटली एडमिशंस ओपन है मोनाश यूनिवर्सिटी में, इंशाल्लाह जल्द ट्रैवल भी होने वाला स्टूडेंट्स का, जैसा कि बता रहे थे। तो ये बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है। तो मैं अपना यहाँ पर अपना मैं आज का सेशन एंड करना चाहूँगा। और जाने से पहले फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो मिस्टर यान स्पेशली थैंक्स टू दैट यू जॉइन अस today, and it was very interactive session to all of us, and Mr. Umar especially thanks to you that you join us today। तो मैं अपने तमाम व्यूअर्स का भी थैंक्स करना चाहूँगा यहाँ पर जिन्होंने हमें ज्वाइन किया, जिन्होंने देखा। ऐसे हमारे इंशाल्लाह सेशंस होते रहेंगे। अपनी जो भी क्यूरीज है लाइव क्लियर कीजिए, और आपको जो न्यू अपडेट्स हैं इंशाल्लाह आपको हम ऐसे ही लाइव सेशंस में देते रहेंगे। तो आज का हमारा सेशन यहीं पर एंड होगा। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। गुड बाय, अल्लाह हाफिज़।
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, Ian.
you. Have a good evening.